Hello. This is a poem I wrote today. Decided maybe I might do a daily poem series and then just do some random thoughts afterwards. So this one's called The Spirit of Manhattan. I woke up at 5:30 or slightly before. Been wanting to see the sunrise all week but couldn't manage to rouse myself to run or bike along the East River till it was bouncing like a high noon basketball across the heavens. This morning, though, something was different. The end of a 7-day fast. It was Friday for most, but for me, Electric Monday. Those kind of new beginning days that don't come by so often unless you will them into being. The quarantine getting to me, getting to us, more than we want or maybe even are willing to admit. A mass collective trauma whereby our spirits elevate and the shadows that elude us into thinking we aren't one fade like a memory from a long time ago. I got out of bed and poured some cold brew with a healthy splash of MCT oil. Did some organizing while listening to motivational stuff on YouTube. This is serious what's happening now. No time to indulge in negativity or self-pity. It's a war against a virus, a new world order, fragmented beings destroyed on the street, your own mind attacking you from the inside, freedom holding on by a shoestring, if that. And in a war you can't indulge. You don't have the capital for negativity. Because if you allow it, it can pull you all the way down with it, like an undertow from which you may never emerge. Those days are behind us now, those days where we could indulge in such ways. By 6 I was running, and the sun lifting up out of the river had me gaze at it with a prayer. I could feel its rays heal me and shatter what was left of despair. No one was out there, or barely anyone, except for a guy playing trumpet under the Williamsburg Bridge. I had to stop and listen. Amazing grace, how sweet it is to save a wretch like me, the spirit of Manhattan, saying good morning like never before. Yeah, so that happened this morning. That's a true story. Guy playing trumpet under the bridge at like 6:30 in the morning. It was buzz. It was amazing because it was so in line with this feeling I woke up with, which was like just the unease of the quarantine, and it's just starting to like kind of push you towards like. To me, it's a calling towards going towards the light in what would, I guess, previously in my universe be considered a rather extreme way, because I don't know, it's just I need a point of focus, and I need to feel like there's a purpose I'm living for, or else what, you know? Somebody asked me, because I've been talking a lot about Wim Hof and just all the positive, like, sort of momentum stuff I've been on, and they wanted me to explain how I was incorporating fasting with Wim Hof, with exercise and all that. And it's a really good question. It got me thinking, like, about this sort of analogy of, like, a road where it's like a two-way road, right? Where you're in a car that goes one way or a car that goes the other way. And it's like all the sort of positive things you can do towards like boosting your momentum in a direction towards keeping inspired and staying motivated towards the light. Like we almost have to be extreme in that regard, or what's considered extreme, because I don't know, because otherwise it's too painful. Like, say, like, okay, with like no FAP, no porn, all that kind of stuff. No drugs. It opens the doorways to things like getting up, doing the morning run, getting in the cold showers, doing the Wim Hof. But to like mix and match would be analogous to like going down a road one way in a car and then being like, wait, I want to like I'm like doing all these positive things. I'm going down the road, going down the road, going down the road. Wait, I want to like get fucked up and like take a break from all this. Well, you got to do that. You pretty much have to like jump out of a moving car, roll on the road, and then hitchhike in the car going the other way. And so then, you know, you do that, and then like you're going down the other way, and then you're like, oh my God, this is burning me out. I gotta go do that other thing. So you gotta, again, jump out of the car, roll on the dirt, and then like cross the street and hitchhike and go. So like, if you try to do that sort of, especially if you do that like like daily, like trying to mix and match all these different like things to do, it becomes like, it just becomes impossible. Like the lyric of Bob Dylan, "You're either busy being born or you're busy dying," is like it's one I think about all the time, and it's one that I love because it's like it's so true. It just happens to be true. It's actually easier to just be full on one way or the other. I find. I mean, and some people will be like, oh, you need balance, and yeah, you need to relax. You can't just like be humorless or like have no fun. It's not about that. It's just about what kind of fun you're having and what those behaviors do to your mind, and what like tapping into those different vibrations do to your state of being and ability to go towards other positive things. Like if you engage in porn and stuff like that, and this isn't like a moral judgment thing or anything, it's just actually comes from experience. That stuff's powerful, and it's like, so if you engage in that, it's not nothing. It's not easy then to like wake up the next day and really like get out of that shame spiral or whatever, and do things that are really self-loving, because you've been so in tune with this other vibration that's actually quite powerful. Same thing like what Napoleon Hill talks about in Outwitting the Devil. Like the devil says smoking is his favorite vehicle more than drinking. Because why? Because smoking creates drift. There's a whole thing in Napoleon Hill's Outwitting the Devil about drift. And that's exactly what I'm talking about here, which is just like drift, momentum, same thing. I mean, momentum would be towards the light, drift would be towards the dark. And it's just like, you almost have to like pick one and go, I think. I mean, that's been my experience, or we have to. I gotta stop saying you have to. I mean we, the royal we. I'm not like so. You know, yeah. I guess that's basically what I was thinking about today. Yeah. So also they were saying, how do I incorporate all of them? Well, they roll onto each other. And the other thing is, when you eliminate negative behaviors, your need for the positive behaviors becomes more profound. And so then to motivate yourself to get up at like 5:30 in the morning and go on a run isn't really a big deal. It's almost like going to a party. Like, it's almost like it's your new fun. It's like that's what's fun, because what's fun is to transform and to like see how far you can push yourself. Like, what is the limit of your potential? All things are possible. And to find that out, and to like override like those voices of self-doubt and self-hatred, and become victorious in ways that have been holding you down, that's fun. that's the most fun. There's nothing more fun than that, you know. You know, I've stayed up for days partying and all that shit. That shit is not fun. That shit is painful. So, I mean, there's a certain kind of fun in it, and for a while or whatever, you know what I mean? But like, yeah, like with smoking or something like that, how are you gonna like wake up in the morning, have a morning cup of coffee and a cigarette? There, you know, there'd be many periods of my life where I said, oh, nothing I enjoy more than a morning cup of coffee and a cigarette. You know, it's like, well, how are you gonna have a morning cup of coffee and a cigarette and then go do Wim Hof? It's like you've just filled your lungs with smoke. It's hard. It's hard enough to like, you know, and I know there's a lot of smokers that can run, and there's even like marathon smokers, and you know that book Born to Run, and those guys all smoked and then beat everybody in marathon. So you know, it's to each his own. I'm just explaining my own state of mind in it all. But yeah, there you go. I better wrap this up. I didn't see how long I went for. All right, man. Have a great day, and keep swinging. Much love.